Hello and welcome to this Bible study for teens and adults at Faith United Church of Christ. This is the lesson for the third week of class, the 4th of October. And we're going to talk some about symbols in the Bible and also about the second creation story and the two creation stories in Genesis that I've asked you to read so far. I asked you to look at a couple of videos, again, from the Bible Project about symbols in the Bible. And I would like to talk about that a little bit here, and then I'll do another short video following this, talking about the Genesis creation stories. So regarding symbols in the Bible, as the videos tried to convey, there are some prominent symbols in the Bible that run throughout the whole Bible from beginning to end, from Genesis to Revelation. And it's important to understanding the Bible and being able to read it meaningfully, simply to know that there are various symbols that are meaningful, that are going through the Bible, showing up again and again at times. Other times there's symbols that show up fewer times or one time or something. But the writers of the Bible are using certain things as symbols to indicate other things. A symbol is like a sign that points to something else, points to something deeper. And in terms of our religious faith, there's always symbols pointing to what we can't see. We can't see God, we can't see heaven, we can't see love in a sense, or faith. You see what it looks like in practice, but you can't see these things that are sort of in the realm of not the ordinary physical earth. So there must be symbols. It's necessary to have symbols to point to that which we can't see, and point to meanings that we can't, get a hold of in our hand. So that highlights the two videos that I asked you to look at. Highlight the first, water, and the second, tree, water of life, tree of life. And I'll just review those briefly. That water is used in the Bible to symbolize life. I mean, the water is necessary for life. We know that, right? And so water is that which gives life. Without water, you don't have life. So God is the water, the source of life. And beginning in Genesis, God is providing waters first to feed, to water the earth, and to for human beings to be able to have water, animals to have water, and so forth. And then right away, as they point out in the video, the human beings are always questing for, thirsting for more and more and more. In a sense, think about it. You drink water, and an hour later, you need to drink it again, and you need to drink it again. And so we constantly need to drink water. We constantly need the life that God gives. We constantly need things, and we're questing for them. And they argue in the, or they point out in the video that right away the human beings in the first book of Genesis are questing for or thirsting for more than they have, for knowledge, for security, for control. It's what drives them to eat from the knowledge of good and evil, to eat the forbidden fruit, because they want knowledge. They want more than they have. They want to know more than they have. They want to be able to make their own decisions. They want to be able to control their own lives. If you don't know what's right and wrong, you simply have to do what people tell you. If you do know what's right and wrong, you make your own decisions, or you can make your own decisions. And so they specifically name knowledge, security, control are the things that people want. And that's symbolized by a never-ending thirst for knowledge, or a never-ending quest for more than we have, never-ending quest to control our own lives, and so forth. It's interesting to note that that's what money does in our contemporary society. Money can buy security, can buy control, can buy knowledge. If you have a lot of money, you can control your world to a significant degree, much more so than if you don't have money. And you're much more secure with money than without money. And knowledge, in a sense, of course, knowledge depends on capacity to understand things, which is the intellectual capacity that does not require money to have that capacity. But certainly, money buys knowledge, and it buys security, control, and so forth. Anyway, in the Bible, God is the never-ending river of life, source of knowledge, source of life, source of our security, that controls the world. But human beings quest for those things, thirsting for knowledge, security, control themselves. And particularly, if you remember the story, there's a story of Jesus going to a well, and there's a Samaritan woman, and he asks for water, and she gives him water, and he talks about that water quenching your thirst, but he provides water that will quench your thirst forever, that he is the water of life, of true life, of never-ending life, and so forth. So it's pointing again, Jesus is using that symbol of water that starts right in Genesis to talk about water as the source of life and of true life. And it flows from him, flows from God through him. But also water is noted, so water is from God, water is from heaven. In the creation story, the waters come down from the heavens, come down from the sky, come down from the heavens through the sky. But water also symbolizes danger in the Bible, right? And obviously water is dangerous and very powerful. Floods do a lot of damage. Storms can raise up big waves that do damage. Storms can sink boats and so forth. So water is both a source of life and it can take away life. And similarly, God is a powerful source of life and dangerous. God, giver of life, taker of life. And writers of the Bible are very aware of the dangerous aspects of God. The all-powerful being is capable of taking life away. So then the second video talked about the tree of life, that the garden, noting simply that the garden has two main trees when Adam and Eve are created in the garden. The tree of life, again, that God provides, and here, I'll give you what you need each day. Remember a similar theme in the Exodus story in the desert when God provides birds, quail in the evening and manna in the morning each day, giving them what they need, but not enough for the second day. They needed the source from God every day. So the tree of life is there in the garden, and the tree of forbidden fruit that leads to death. So tree of life, tree of death. They choose to eat also. They choose to eat from the tree of death. And that's the immediate unfolding story, is that human beings aren't satisfied with what God provides day to day, are questing for more than they should have, and that leads to death. And this pattern repeats over and over again through the Bible and through our lives. Okay, I'm going to stop here and take a breather, and you can take a breather, and then the next video I will talk more explicitly about the creation stories. And so I will see you then. Thanks.